Go ahead.
Uh, what I can say about this situation is that we have to watch it carefully. And when our country gets to a stage where those persons who are the enablers of the present government, the well-paid influencers and bloggers, and they become offended, and that would lead to a situation where any person can be without a job to support themselves and their families. We have reached a very sad state in our country. And if the announcer, as a Calypsonian, was fired from his job because of a song which addressed issues in Barbados, then we are at a sad state. It, I don't think that our Calypsonians are persons who only sing. They also have jobs in government. What is it saying to them? That I have to be careful what I write, what I sing about from here on in. If this is allowed to go unchecked and not challenged, what does it say to the other Calypsonian out there who use that medium to bring attention to the issues of facing Barbadians every time? What are we saying about our crop over? We have changed so much. Are we now getting rid of what we call social commentary? Is that the next thing to be taken away from crop over? So this what has happened to the announcer has a lot of presents a lot of issues for the future if we as Barbadians do not speak up and support. So I am saying to every artist out there, whether it's on the Nifka stage, whether it's on the crop over scene, whether it is at Independence time, whether it is at any time of our cultural history that we're presented, even our poetry or rhythm poetry, who tend to put the poetry, the poets who use that me to present issues facing us, what are we saying to them? Especially when we work in government or we work in private institutions that have connection with government, and they will say to us, "You're offending one of our our donors," or whatever the NCX was referred to. What does it say to every other artist? And this is a serious situation that we find that have not presented itself. And I believe that any right-thinking person will speak up and say that this is enough. This is not right. And what I see on social media, or we have some well-paid influencers and bloggers presenting a case that the announcer should be fired, and they are collecting money under the table. They are holding down two jobs and getting paid under the table. Some may have businesses that pay themselves in some of the organizations, and you present a case for a Calypsonian who is presenting a topic of the day, adding value to our Calypso competition, and you're going to present a case online for this. And people are saying stay away from it because it's political, that they don't want to make it political. It is political. But the only people that can be political in Barbados is the Barbados Labour Party. So when if any person from another party or any organization says anything, oh, you're making it political. But when they speak about it, when they go on social media and present a case for his firing, it is not political. And I'm saying to all of them that are making a case, your turn will come. because you're not, some part of us, we don't agree all the time. And you may say something that offends, and you will want some person to stand in your corner. So I'm saying to all right thinking Barbados, this is not just about the announcer, it is about all of us having the right to speak, to perform, to sing, to present issues as we see them. And that is my take on it.
Mhm. Very well said, Mr. Babb. Because as you're saying this, as you're speaking, I thought about the rights that we have under the Constitution, the freedom of association. And even with that, there are lots of people in Barbados, and everybody knows the truth that they are afraid to be seen with, say, for example, the DLP, because they know that if they're seen with the DLP, that they are going to be victimized in some way or the other. Let's stop pretending.
But
Everybody knows that.
Marcia, you are correct because we have a situation. I'm going to tell everybody about it. We have a situation, the person should know better. We have a situation where we are now celebrating the gathering stage of St. Michael. And we have a St. Michael representative in the house telling persons in their community that we are going to give you money to present, to put on sporting events, but you can't be seen with any DLP person around it. That is what we can't come to.
I know that. I know that of a fact. And what you're saying too, it's where I heard of a situation in a particular constituency where, they were putting on a football event. It's a community organization. They have a board, or a committee, and they're putting on a sporting event, since you're talking about sporting, and they wanted to bring a known cricketer, right? To be the feature, as a personality. So they brought one. And so the committee decided on that. And there was a member of that committee who was BLP and said, you know what? I have to resign my position to use a national figure that's associated with the DLP at a sporting match, just to increase, just a visibility of the event. And that board member and that committee member had to resign, because if he did not resign, all the pickings that he was getting, he was going to. They said they were pulling it away from him. This is
We are
real
at
thing that we're
a
telling. And
sickening.
yeah, go ahead, doctor. Go ahead.
We are at a sickening stage of our politics and our governance in Barbados. And we, the people, have to do something about it. We got a serious decision to make. We have a serious decision to make in the next election because this is not what Barbados is about. We will have government and we must have opposition. And when you get to the stage that you're going to say to those opposition persons who support opposition or support opposing views, that you should keep your mouth shut and have nothing to say. And if you say anything, you're going to lose your job. If you dare speak about the government in power, that is not what we know. That is not what we're. How can a Barbados Labour Party government at this point in time, when there were also opposition on more than one occasion, be allowed when they're in opposition to roam freely all over this country? When they were in opposition, they organized the biggest marches. And you tell me today you will get up on in Parliament and curse a march, some person who's bring not education or curse a program or be offended because they're marches. This is what you ask the Barbadians to allow you to give you a vote to do. We have to say that is not what we elect you for. And tell the Prime Minister she's gone too far. And the enablers and the influencers that they have who are collecting money, we are more than them. and we can't allow them to influence our position. They are being paid. I want us to remember as people, and when we read what they post, they are being paid and they are earning their keep monthly. It has nothing to do with any of the masses' livelihood and the ability to go to the supermarket. They are paid to tell us that what we see in the supermarket is not real. They are paid to tell us ignore what is happening in the streets with our young people. They are being paid to tell us that what is happening to Ronnie is right. It is not political, it is right. And if we as the majority would allow persons who are getting a few $100s for them and their families to allow us to sell off our country or keep it in the hands of the Barbados Labour Party, I am so sorry for us.
Very much so, very much so. And folks, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I had a full thing research on the steel houses to present tonight, but we have other times. We're just going to continue tonight on this trajectory. But yeah, we had a whole thing on the steel frame houses already, ready. But I don't think we're going to be able to do it in the time. Dave, there is Dave, if we can, there's something I want to play concerning Ronnie, and that's what this particular video that you're going to play. This is 2024. All right. This is Ronnie on at the start of Crop Over 2024. And this was before there was any he had put up on, remember I told you in July 2024 that he had put out a post saying this is what his song was going to be. So this, if it's at the start, it would probably be about May or so of 2024. And this is him along. And I'm sure that's Carol over there on the left, the right of him, the left of us, right? And this would have been before the allegation is being made that a call was made by a government official re Ronnie's title of his song, the title, just the title of the song, not the lyrics. So let's play this, Dave.
Carol. Protocol being established. Let me wish you a happy crop over. It's a blessing, it's a privilege, and it's an honor to be here. I do love crop over, and I participate in various ways. We were challenged with the task of compiling 50 songs across the various categories of music, especially competitive categories in crop over, namely social commentary / pickety crop repertoire, sweet soca as it became known, power soca as it's now called, and bashment soca. None of the songs were winners in the official competitions of crop over. And an artist could not be represented more than once in that list of 50. And if that artist was the lead vocalist of a group, then that would cover both considerations. We literally went from A to Y. We went from the creator of one of the most impressive, impactful tributes to women in any genre, anywhere in the world, from Adonijah and Woman, to, there was no Junior Monarch at the time, but I'm sure he would have won if there was, Youngblood. Yes! Sport Billy. And he has developed into one of the most incredible, versatile, and distinguished musical and performing ambassadors of this country. Therefore, once Gabby, Bag, Griner, Rasaili had one song of their vast repertoire selected, that was it. Very difficult choice. Gabby has Calypso from 1982, which he didn't win that year. The gentleman that was here and dancing so well on stage, he won that year. But there was also Boots, which didn't win. There was also Hit It, that didn't win. Outside of Grinder's 7 Road Marches, plenty of songs coming into consideration. But he produced in 1986, after coming second to Ras Eiley, who won Road March to Spring Garden on Fire, the anthemic Bajan Yankees, which really encapsulates everything about Barbadians in New York, in the United States, in North America, coming to Barbados and going back, or where our musicians go there and perform. We had the great Carew, the late great Carew, Bongo, Take It or Lump It, Holly, the Poster. And each of these songs in their own right creates a vision and an image of when they were debuted, when they grew during a festival, and when they continued to be exposed and appreciated in later years. It wasn't an easy task. What it has done is whet the appetite potentially for 50 social commentaries, which include the winners this time, Sweet Soca, which include the winners, Power Soca, which include the winners, and Bashment Soca. And we've got younger artists represented, Mikey, Marsville, Lorenzo, and it gives you the opportunity to create your own list, to take in, to take out during the course of the festival. We would welcome that, and we certainly thank the National Cultural Foundation and Mr. Mark Messiah for being an integral part of that exercise.
Now, this is important, Mr. Babb, because for us to show this, that this now would have been just at the start of 2024. By the end or towards the end of Crop Over 2024, the start of Crop Over 2024. And by the end of Crop Over 2024, the end of July, August is when the announcer decided that he was going to sing about, because there were many issues that the Calypsonians were having with the NCF and Carol Roberts. And Carol Roberts came out at the end of 2024 Crop Over to say how terrible the Calypsonians are. And their lyrics, that it's not the exact words, but that basically they were not becoming. It was not at the standard that it's supposed to be at. So here comes Ronnie, who is also part of backup, who would have known some of the challenges that they had to go through as Calypsonians backstage. No lighting, terrible conditions, working conditions. The treatment was horrible. And so he decided they're not getting anywhere with Carol at the National Cultural Foundation, decided to write about what they were going through. That's it. That was it. And by the time he put up the title, it is being alleged that somebody from an entity called people at Starcom about it. And that's why I'm asking, putting it out in the open, for them to be able to say what happened between this, the beginning of Crop Over, and the end of Crop Over. Right? So that is really the question. That is really the question that we have to be asking, what really happened. And Mr. Babb, the other thing is this, and viewers, we have 15 minutes. And you know what? On Saturday, you want to hear the beginning, the middle, and the end of this? Come to the march, the solidarity walk. We're calling it a solidarity walk. Together for freedom. Stand with Ronnie. You cannot silence a Calypsonian and expect the people to remain silent.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, November 15th, 10 a.m. Right there at Massey. We're going to start on time. All right. We need you to come, be there and on time. Right. The speaker is going to be Ronnie Clark himself, the announcer or the announcer. I don't know who's going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Carter from Backup. That's the Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists.
Right.
Davida Maynard Holligan, an attorney at law. She's not even Ronnie's attorney, but she knows, she's seen this situation, and she said, Marcia, I want to speak there. Okay? And be assured that this is going to be unprecedented, Mr. Babb.
Yeah.
He's not going to hold back anything. He's going to fill in all, you see, I'm asking questions. He's going to fill in. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to present the answers because there's something that I'm sure he's going to be able to answer. And which is this, that you're a teacher, right?
Yes.
And the reality is this: if they had a problem with his performance, if the issues that he had poor or unacceptable performance, was he issued warnings by the company about
Mm-hmm.
performance? You see? And that Mr. Babb, Mr. Clark is going to be able to fill in those blanks for us.
He performed all in the tent. The song became extremely popular in the tent. So
Well,
why at that stage was it a problem?
that's it. Now, all of a sudden, because they are presenting, is it that they're putting stuff out there in the public that we can't prove? Because the other things that we they heard what we were saying. Is it that they heard what we were saying and now say it was because of poor performance? And is because they said serious. Remember the first thing that came out? They said serious misconduct.
Listen to me. They write that. Look, then I saw was serious. I remember the letter written to me as a teacher. I committed a serious act. That's what they write, and I should be dismissed immediately from the teaching service. So they write that. They wrote that is how they write. So they're going to point to the whole thing started because of this song. We know that. So anything else that they write, they're trying to cover their backsides. If you had a problem with how he was performing his duties, he had warning letters. Was he called to meetings? So you're now trying to give the public the impression that it's not about this song or even appearing on your show to defend the song. Because when you see some of the bloggers write and would give them their fed information to put out there, and the information that one blogger was given was that he made an error by he got trapped on your show. They give them information to feed to the public to cover the tails. When that does not work, they switch to something else. But we know, but I'm saying that this situation has more far-reaching effects on the ordinary Barbadian in the street, and those persons who go to work in public, whether private or public. And if you go to work in a private institution who favors the government, you have to be looking over your shoulder. And if you're in government, and you want to keep your pay, or you want to get your contract renewed, what people say you have to take a lot of humps and grumps, because you know that if you dare say anything against the government in your interests, that is how you're going to be victimized in this country. How did we get here? And why are we here? And why are we allowing it as Barbadians to happen to us? For people who begged us for a vote. You understand that they came to the public and begged for a vote in 2018 and 2022? They beg and they prepare to do it again. So I am saying to us that these things that we see happening can mushroom, if we don't nip it in the bud, they can mushroom into something that is so frightening that we have to walk around for us to work, for us to eat, for us to live in our country. We can't say anything about me and Motley or the BLP.